How simple can I make this? How simple let it be. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So that was the first song I sang to myself after getting the list of readings that we might choose amongst. And I had quite a little reaction and so on that has to do with first of all, like I looked at it and just felt overwhelmed and irritated. And then I moved on to, like, as I started exploring some of them, I arrived in a reactivity that has been with me off and on since I've been in Appamada, that also sometimes then becomes a rant with plenty of judgmentalism in it. And that part has to do with the way that many of the teachings are framed in books and so on, that are speaking to people who use their thinking mind more than other things. So, in my biggest kind of rant around it, I talk about the intelligentsia and, those kinds of things. And other times I'm concerned that we aren't really reaching the world and giving opportunity for people to have some of they can have some of the benefit of my practice, but that doesn't give them the freedom within their range. So anyway, that was like my reaction I had. And so then I poked around at them some more and tried to find one that I felt was describing it in a thorough but simple way. And then it's like, okay. So, and then, the one that I picked, and other people had already been speaking to it. So it wasn't something. So, well, what do I do with this? Well, I decided to look up one of the teachers that I think has found a way to bring it to almost anybody, and that's Thich Nhat Hanh, because he speaks in it and so on. And so I have a couple of really little paragraphs from something that I saw there that I felt this was a talk on the five Skandhas, whatever that word is. So one of the things I did get, though, when it was a matter of like, what did I not already know? Because in so many ways, all of these are simply putting together in one place things that I have encountered across the years I've been with Appamada, and am always really pleased to find some of the ways that things weave together and are part of each other and so on. And of course, why wouldn't it be if everything in the universe is involved in interrelationships that affect other things and so yes, merging and unity, all those things we know this already. We know it in our Buddhist self, and we know this with glimpses we've had. But I just really have appreciated having this put together in the complex beings that we are, that try to understand ourselves. You can't really stand under yourself. Anyway, so Thich Nhat Hanh, and it's called Making Peace with Ourselves. And so he speaks to each of the points, the 5 points that we've been talking about. And so these are just a couple of quotes that I also particularly liked. Healing is not really coming from outside. It can come from the inside. It is inherent in our body and consciousness. Just like an animal is injured, retreats to take care of the body. If we worry too much, then we make the situation worse. We need to rest. We can believe in the capacity of our body. This can also apply to our consciousness. Every wound can be healed through tenderly embracing our pain in the body and in our feelings. And one of the things he's saying is that all of the things that are suffering and the things that we suffer are part of all of what we are, and that we can heal those parts in a variety of ways. So another quote from this that I liked is, peace and well-being always begins with yourself. Learn the methods from the Sangha. Have faith in the practice, and you can feel peace and well-being coming together as Sangha. So to me, one of the things that was really clear in this, in a way that I've looked at from other directions, has to do with community. The community, what Buddha was speaking to, is the community of our body, within this formation, that all of the things that we have been and have affected us, all the things that we are, and so on, that these are all the community. We talk about internal family stuff, and it's one aspect and one tool. And I'm quite grateful to be in a Sangha that looks at things and gives us the tools to work with it, instead of like just having all that be an outside thing, or just a thing in terms of our beliefs, rather than we just can work with it and do the healing things and so on. And I really appreciate that hugely. And so basically, Sangha is community. And so we have a microscopic Sangha in every cell, in every organ, and then there's the container of it, which I think a heap is kind of a little less, it's a little messier in one way than our bodies. And on the other hand, our bodies are a big mess. So I don't know which way to think of those words that we use for it, but aggregate, I think, and recognizing the interrelationships within our body and caring for them individually when they need attention, and then when we are together as sangha, as many aggregates coming together, being an aggregate, um, we can become a body, and as sangha we are a body. So I just think this is quite, has felt really, it's moved some things that were in the way. It's moved, it's affirmed some things that I have thought or been working with, but not certain even if it makes sense. And so, yeah, I don't have a lot of like other stuff to say. It's just like, how simple can we make this? It's all here in each of you, my dear Buddhists. If you have any questions, I hope you also bring the answers. No, it's okay. We can talk.
I'd like to say a couple of things. So one is, as I hear all of you talk, I can't imagine how much would be lost if you didn't have this opportunity. Your talks have been so beautiful. And thank you, Becky, and thank all of you so far. And the second is Becky's added to our sanghas, the skandhas, this idea of like, so what's the connection of my skandhas to your skandhas? And how does this connect us? And this idea of community. And I'm so glad you brought that up. And that's a new wrinkle in this whole process too, because I never see it really talked about. Did Thich Nhat Hanh talk about it there in the things you read?
I don't remember now.
Still individual skandhas, but there's something shared here. And I think that's so beautiful that you brought that up. Thank you, Becky.
So I had a request, Becky. Could you read the first quote again?
Probably have to find it again. The first quote was, is that healing is not,
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
healing is not really coming from outside. It can come from the inside. It is inherent in our body and consciousness. Just like an animal's, and like an animal is injured, retreats to take care of the body. If we worry too much, then we make the situation worse. We need to rest. We need to believe in the capacity of our body. This can also apply to our consciousness. Every wound can be healed through tenderly embracing our pain in the body and in our feelings.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Becky.